Attender.
Attender. Daniel was a regular attender at the Baptist church.
Attention.
Attention.
My attention wasn't really on the game. She tried to pay attention to what he was saying. If you paid more attention in class, you might actually learn something. Scott sat down at his desk and turned his attention to the file he had in front of him.
As a society, we need to give more attention to the needs of older people.
Now he's gone, I can give you my undivided attention.
This game is fun and is sure to keep the attention of any young student.
They listened to the speech with close attention. Attention to detail is essential in this job.
During the lecture, Sarah's attention began to wander.
She was flattered by all the attention he was giving her. A player who quickly attracted the attention of several clubs. The exhibition received little attention in the press. Her case attracted a great deal of media attention. The book holds the reader's attention right to the very end. Rob loves being the centre of attention.
She spent a lot of time trying to avoid the attentions of her boss.
The man then turned his attentions to her sister. She waved to attract the attention of the waitress.
Children often misbehave in order to get attention. The purpose of the article was to draw attention to the problems faced by single parents.
We wanted to focus public attention on this matter.
He left quietly to avoid drawing attention to himself.
All this talk of war is just an attempt to draw attention away from the serious economic problems that face our country. The matter was first brought to my attention earlier this year.
It came to my attention that Jenny was claiming overtime pay for hours she had not worked.
This fact had not escaped the attention of the authorities. The bike's in fairly good condition, but the gears need a bit of attention.
Pets need a lot of care and attention. Anyone who comes into contact with these chemicals should seek urgent medical attention.
Your plants look like they could do with a bit of attention. Attention, please. Could passenger Marie Thomas please proceed to gate 25 immediately? Letters should be marked for the attention of Joe Benson.
Attention deficit disorder.
Attention deficit disorder.
Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Attention span.
Attention span.
Children often have a short attention span.
Attentive.
Attentive.
Customers want companies that are attentive to their needs. An attentive audience.
Attenuate.
Attenuate.
An attenuated form of the polio virus.
Attest.
Luxurious furnishings attested to the wealth of the owner.
Attestation.
Attestation.
Attic.
Attic.
A small attic room.
Attire.
Attire. Business attire.
Attired.
Attired.
He arrived suitably attired in a dark dinner suit.
Attitude.
Attitude. As soon as they found out I was a doctor, their whole attitude changed.
The people have a very positive attitude to life.
A coat with attitude.
Attorney.
Attorney.
Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Attosecond. Attosecond. Attract.
Attract.
What attracted me most to the job was the chance to travel.
The story has attracted a lot of interest from the media.
I'm not usually attracted to blondes. I guess it was his eyes that attracted me first. Leftover food attracts flies. Low rents designed to attract new businesses to the area.
Attraction.
Attraction.
The attraction between them was almost immediate. The beautiful beaches are the island's main attraction. Being your own boss is one of the attractions of owning your own business.
The gravitational attraction between the Earth and the Moon.
Attractive.
Attractive.
An attractive young woman.
Women seem to find him attractive.
Kitchen utensils should be attractive as well as functional.
A political movement that is attractive to young people. I must say it's a very attractive offer.
Attributable.
Attributable.
Death was attributable to gunshot wounds.
Attribute.
Attribute.
The fall in the number of deaths from heart disease is generally attributed to improvements in diet.
A saying usually attributed to Confucius.
One should not attribute human motives to animals. What attributes should a good manager possess?
Attuned.
Attuned.
British companies still aren't really attuned to the needs of the Japanese market.
ATV.
ATV.
Atypical. Atypical.
Aubergine.
Aubergine.
Auburn.
Auburn.
Auction.
Auction.
The house was sold at auction.
This week, 14 of his paintings were put up for auction.
Auction.
Auctioneer.
Auctioneer.
Audacious.
Audacious.
The risks involved in such an audacious operation.
Audacity.
Audacity.
I can't believe he had the audacity to ask me for more money.
Audible.
Audible.
His voice was barely audible above the roar of the crowd.
Audience.
Audience.
The audience began clapping and cheering. An audience of 250 business people. One member of the audience described the opera as boring. The show attracts a regular audience of about 20 million. Goya was one of the first painters to look for a wider audience for his work. The book is not intended for a purely academic audience. He was granted an audience with the Pope.
Audio.
Audio.
Audio and video equipment.
You can save the audio for editing later.
Audio. Audio.
An audio cassette.
Audiobook.
Audiobook.
Audio guide. Audio guide. Audio tape.
Audio tape.
Audio typist.
Audio typist.
Audiovisual.
Audiovisual.
The use of audiovisual materials in the classroom.
Audit.
Audit.
The annual audit.
Start with an audit of existing services within the community.
Audit.
Audition.
Audition.
I've got an audition for the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra on Friday. She's auditioning for Ophelia in Hamlet.
We auditioned more than 200 dances before deciding on Carol Ann.
Auditor.
Auditor.
Auditorium.
Auditorium.
Auditory.
Auditory.
Audit trail. Audit trail.
The lack of a physical audit trail in electronic commerce increases the possibilities for tax avoidance.
Au fait.
Au fait.
I'm not really au fait with the computer system yet.
The Augean stables.
Augean stables.
Augur.
Augur.
Ought.
Ought.
Augment.
Augment.
Any surplus was sold to augment their income.
Augmented reality.
Augmented reality.
Augur.
Augur.
Today's announcement of 300 redundancies does not augur well for the local economy.
Augury.
Augury.
August.
August.
I was there last August.
My birthday's in August.
The new store opened on August the 6th.
He arrived at Berwick on the 6th of August, 1823.
We'll expect you to call August 6th.
An august institution.
Orc.
Awk.
Auld Lang Syne.
Auld Lang Syne.
Au naturel.
Au naturel.
Aunt.
Ant.
Aunt Mary.
Auntie. Auntie.
Auntie Lou.
Au pair.
Au pair.
Aura.
Aura.
The building retains an aura of mystery.
Oral.
Oral.
An oral stimulus.
Aureole.
Aureole.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Aurora borealis. Aurora borealis. Auspices.
Auspices.
Negotiations held under the auspices of the United Nations.
Auspicious.
Auspicious.
Saccani's excellent recording is an auspicious start to what promises to be a distinguished musical career.
Aussie.
Aussie.
Austere.
Austere.
The church's austere simplicity. Her father is a very austere man.
Cuthbert led an austere life of prayer and solitude.
Austerity.
Austerity.
A time of great austerity after the war.
The austerities of post-communist Eastern Europe.
A tough new austerity program.
IMF-backed austerity measures.
A life of austerity.
Australasian.
Australasian.
Australian.
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 Australian rules football.
Australian rules football.
Austrian.
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 Austro.
Austro.
Austro-Hungarian.
Autarky.
Autarky.
Auteur.
Auteur.
Authentic.
Authentic.
Authentic French food.
An authentic work by Picasso.
An authentic account.
Actors dressed in authentic costumes reenact the battle.
Authenticate.
The painting has been authenticated by experts.
Passwords which can authenticate electronic documents.
Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Archaeological evidence may help to establish the authenticity of the statue.
Author.
Author.
Notom is a Belgian author. He was the author of 2 books on China. It's clear that the author is a woman. The author of the state reforms.
Author.
Authoress.
Authoress.
Authoring.
Authoring.
Here are a few tips on authoring and site design.
Authoritarian.
Authoritarian.
An authoritarian government.
Critics claim his management has become too authoritarian.
Authoritative.
Authoritative.
The most authoritative work on English surnames.
He has a commanding presence and an authoritative voice.
Authority.
Authority.
Only the President has the authority to declare war.
Several countries claim authority over the islands.
I need to speak to someone in authority. An agreement between the U.S. and Colombian authorities.
The local authority.
East Sussex Education Authority.
The San Diego Water Authority.
Welsh health authorities face a £13 million deficit this year.
Mr. Lee is a leading authority on Chinese food.
The attack took place under the authority of the UN Security Council.
No one may enter without my authority. Teenage rebellion against authority figures. Jack's air of quiet authority.
Authorization.
Authorization.
You need special authorization to park here. Children may not leave the building without the authorization of the principal.
Authorize.
Authorize.
An authorized biography. Napoleon III authorized Haussmann to rebuild Paris.
Authorship.
Authorship.
There's no evidence to dispute his claim to authorship.
An investigation into the authorship of the Bible.
Autism.
Autism.
An autistic child.
Autistic spectrum.
Autistic spectrum.
Autistic spectrum disorder.
Autistic spectrum disorder.
Auto. Auto.
Imported autos.
The auto industry.
Auto insurance.
Auto. 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 Auto.
An autobiography.
A camera with an autofocus lens.
Autobiography.
Autobiography.
An autobiographical novel.
Autocracy.
Autocracy.
Autocrat.
Autocrat.
An autocratic leadership style.
Autocue.
Autocue.
Autodialer.
Autodialer.
Autogas.
Autogas.
Autograph.
Autograph.
Can I have your autograph?
A player who would always sign autographs and chat with fans.
A shirt autographed by the whole team.
Autograph driving. Autograph driving.
Autoimmune disease.
Autoimmune disease.
Automagically. Automagically.
Automaker.
Automaker.
U.S. automakers.
Automate. Automate.
Cash machines automate two basic functions of a bank, deposits and withdrawals.
Automated.
Automated.
A highly automated factory. The production process is now fully automated.
Automatic.
Automatic.
An automatic weapon.
An automatic gearbox.
My camera is fully automatic.
Littering results in an automatic fine.
Practice the breathing techniques until they become automatic.
Automatically.
Automatically.
Join now, and you will automatically receive 50% off your first purchase.
Of course I automatically said yes. The doors opened automatically as we approached.
Automatic pilot. Automatic pilot.
Moving on automatic pilot, she tidied the room.
Automatic transmission.
Automatic transmission.
Automation.
Automation.
Automaton.
Automaton.
Automobile.
Automobile.
The automobile industry.
Automotive.
Automotive.
Automotive technology.
Autonomous.
Autonomous.
Galicia is an autonomous region of Spain.
Autonomy.
Autonomy.
Campaigners who want greater autonomy for Corsica.
Teachers are given considerable individual autonomy.
Autopilot.
Autopilot.
Autopsy.
Autopsy.
An autopsy report.
Autumn.
Autumn.
Autumn mists.
Autumnal.
Autumnal.
Autumnal colours.
Auxiliary.
Auxiliary.
An auxiliary nurse. Auxiliary staff. An auxiliary power supply.
Auxiliary equipment.
A nursing auxiliary. A modal auxiliary.
Auxiliary verb.
Auxiliary verb.
AV.
Avail.
Avail.
We searched the whole area, but all to no avail. Robbie had disappeared.
How many schools avail themselves of this opportunity each year?
Availability.
Availability.
The availability of affordable housing. Rooms are offered subject to availability.
He has been asked about his availability to take part in the competition.
Available.
Available.
Tickets are available from the box office.
Not enough data is available to scientists.
Funds are available to assist teachers who want to attend the conference.
No figures are available for the number of goods sold.
There are plenty of jobs available in the area.
Parking is readily available near the station entrance. Meetings were held to update employees as soon as new information became available. Further building can continue when money is made available. Every available space on the wall was covered in pictures.
Collins was not available for comment on Thursday night.
Avalanche.
Avalanche.
2 skiers were killed in the avalanche. The school received an avalanche of applications.
Avant-garde.
Avant-garde.
An avant-garde play. A member of the avant-garde.
Avarice.
Avarice.
Avatar.
Avatar.
Av.
36 Rokesley Avenue.
Avenge.
Avenge.
He wanted to avenge his brother's death.
Avenue.
Avenue.
5th Avenue. Shaftesbury Avenue.
The President wants to explore every avenue towards peace in the region. There are many avenues open to researchers.
A tree-lined avenue.
Aver.
Aver.
Average.
Average.
The age of the candidates ranged from 29 to 49, with an average age of 37. The average cost of making a movie has risen by 15%. Last winter was colder than average. The cars were being sold at an average price of $11,000.
They have an average-sized front garden and a large rear garden. He was in his late 20s and of average height.
The average American has not even thought about next year's election.
In an average week, I drive about 250 miles. The average of 3, 8, and 10 is 7.
Each person raised an average of £60 to plant an acre of trees.
The December figures brought the annual average for 2001 up to 10.6%.
On average, men still earn more than women. Nearly 80% of Swiss citizens, on average, turn out to vote. Streets in the town centre are wider than the average.
The school's 8th graders are above average in science.
The murder rate in the city has risen to 4 times the national average.
The water in the lake is not particularly deep, averaging about 12 metres.
The airport averages about 1,000 flights a month.
Inflation averaged just under 2.8% per year. The rate of growth was averaged over a period of 3 years.
Training costs for last year averaged out at £5,100 per trainee.
The government share of the cost was intended to average out at 25%.
I averaged out the total increase at about 10%.
Averse.
Averse.
I was not averse to fighting with any boy who challenged me. Jim is averse to using chemicals in the garden.
Some banks are risk-averse.
Aversion.
Aversion.
Despite his aversion to publicity, Arnold was persuaded to talk to the press.
I have an aversion to housework.
Avert.
Avert.
The tragedy could have been averted if the crew had followed safety procedures. Henry averted his eyes as she undressed.
Avian flu. Avian flu.
Aviary.
Aviary.
Aviation.
Aviation.
Aviator.
Aviator.
Aviator sunglasses.
Aviator sunglasses.
Avid.
Avid.
An avid collector of old jazz records.
An avid reader.
Avionics.
Avionics.
Avocado.
Avocado. Avocado.
Avoid.
Avoid.
Road safety is taught to young children to avoid road accidents.
It is important to take measures to avoid the risk of fire. The refugees left to avoid getting bombed.
Alan narrowly avoided an accident. Everyone seemed to be avoiding Nick.
She carefully avoided his eyes.
Pregnant women should avoid certain foods such as raw eggs.
Why did you speak to him? You usually avoid him like the plague.
There are ways of legally avoiding taxes. You should avoid overspending in the first half of the year.
Avoidable.
Avoidable.
An almost entirely avoidable cause of death. Nearly 1,000 children die each year from accidents in the home which are avoidable.
Avoidance.
Avoidance.
The avoidance of issues such as domestic violence. A tax avoidance scheme.
Avoir du poids.
Avoir du poids.
Avow.
Avow.
He avowed his commitment to Marxist ideals.
Avowed.
Avowed.
An avowed atheist.
Avuncular.
Avuncular.
An avuncular pat on the shoulder.
Await.
Await.
Several men are awaiting trial for robbery. A terrible surprise awaited them at Mr. Tumnus's house.
Awake.
Awake.
I hope he's awake now. She was still only half awake when I brought her a cup of coffee. How do you stay awake during boring lectures? Emma lay awake half the night, worrying.
The noise brought him wide awake.
To keep themselves awake, they sat on the floor and told each other stories.
Too few people are awake to the dangers of noise pollution. It was midday when she awoke.
We awoke to a day of brilliant sunshine.
The gesture awoke an unexpected flood of tenderness towards her. The gesture awoke an unexpected flood of tenderness towards her. Artists finally awoke to the aesthetic possibilities of photography.